Today is a day that I don't think I will ever forget. I spoke to several people here in Rensselaer County, and they say this is something they've never seen. I spoke to people who live in the area for 20, 30 years, and they say this storm was worse than Hurricane Irene.
Have you ever wanted to be a school bus driver? Well, you soon may be able to get your chance. A couple school districts in the capital region say they may need your help. I just spoke to Troy Fire Chief Eric McMahon, and he says at least 10 people have been displaced. I'm still here on the scene of 6th Avenue. I'm going to step out the way, paint the picture for you. And when I was talking to Chief McMahon, he says at least 27 firefighters have responded to the call. And Stalling says they want to take their nonprofit to the next level. They have already purchased this building, and the goal is to turn this property into sobriety transitional housing.
Yes, Paulina, the fireworks show has begun, and it is a party out here. I'm going to step out of the frame and show you the fireworks. Take a look at what's going on in the night sky in downtown Albany. And yesterday, strong winds caused some damage. And as you can see over here, this tree has been completely uprooted from the ground. And if you come over this way, you can see some of these trees have fallen on top of the home. So first of all, it's hot. Second of all, it's hot. Third of all, it's...
Here's my remote, Jonathan. You take over. Yes, it is going to be hot today. Jonathan said it. Just said it right there.
All righty. Thank you, Christina.
Jonathan, why is this mess still there?
Well, Sabrina, when I spoke to the village code enforcement officer, he says there are procedures they have to follow in order to remove this debris, and he reiterated that this is not a simple process. However, when I spoke to people who live in this neighborhood, they say they are tired of looking at this pile of debris because it is affecting their overall quality of life. When you go to 58 Otsego Street in the village of Canajoharie, you will see a big pile of debris. May of last year, a fire destroyed what used to be a boarding house. Montgomery County demolished the building.
More than a year later, the debris is still here, 370 some days.
This is getting outrageous. The smell alone is enough to make someone sick.
This woman did not want to be identified, but lives next door. She is concerned because her mom is 59 years old and is on oxygen.
We can't open up the windows. The smell bothers her.
Robert Teixeira lives next door on the other side of the debris with his husband. He says they are planning to open up a bed and breakfast, but he is concerned.
We hope to open a bed and breakfast, and unfortunately, I wonder who is going to come and stay at our place and look at this debris pile.
Today, I touched base with Clifton Duro, the code enforcement officer for the village. He says the mayor has been in contact with Montgomery County to try to resolve the issue. He says it could cost over $50,000 to remove the debris. He tells me the village, quite frankly, does not have the money. Benny Goldstein is the supervisor for the town of Canajoharie. He happens to live across the street from the debris. He says the town and the village are two different bodies of government, but he says he'd be happy to lend a helping hand to the village.
We could help with some finances. That's not a problem. I know we offered, but at the end of the day, they need to make the move.
And back live now, and when talking to the code enforcement officer, he says another problem is the village does not own this property. He says they have been trying to find the individual who owns the property, and they have not been able to locate him. Reporting live, I'm Jonathan Hunter, News Channel 13, coverage you can trust. Sabrina. Jalen Gurrier-Lewis grew up going to the Boys and Girls Club here in Troy. Those who knew him say he was an outgoing teenager who loved to play basketball. It was Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. when Jalen Gurrier-Lewis was shot near 5th Avenue in Troy. He was taken to a hospital, but he ultimately died from his injuries. Jerry Ford, a family friend, says it was tough to hear the news.
It hit home. Then when we found out who it was, when it was revealed who it really was, then we knew that he was one of ours.
Tonight, we spoke to Jerry and two of Jalen's basketball coaches. Steven Figueroa coached Jalen when he was on the Hard Knocks basketball team. He says Jalen had a unique personality and a lot of talent.
Always wanted to be in the game, and then when called upon to do what he had to do on the court, he always executed.
Niecy Brown coached Jalen as well. She says he was a leader and always had a smile on his face.
Call Jalen right now. Jay, I need 5 kids for a team. He pulling up with 10. Like, that's just that pull, that leadership he had. Like, Jalen was dope.
Jalen is the second 16-year-old killed in Troy this year. For Jerry, he would like to see the city of Troy declare a state of emergency due to the gun violence.
Let's change the way this is going. Jalen is the second 16-year-old in 30 days, man.
30 days.
To me, that's a state of emergency. We need to do something immediately.
Jalen's coaches and friends say they would like to see Troy create a community center so teenagers have a safe place to go. Reporting in Troy, Jonathan Hunter, News Channel 13.
Well, I've seen a lot of roadblocks, but never made of cats.
Friday evening, Joshua Christman was driving with his daughter near Richmond Pond in Berkshire County when he came across at least 10 cats who were blocking the roadway.
At first, it was kind of funny until it clicked in my head that they were probably dumped. And that's when I, got off the video and called for people to help.
Joshua reached out to police and animal control. One cat even jumped in the wheel well of his car trying to get warm.
And that's when it kind of clicked to me that the cats were meowing almost like in pain. And I knew that, they were all cold. They probably had been out there for an extended time.
Joshua took matters into his own hand and went to Facebook Live to see if anybody could take some of the cats.
If anybody's willing to help, they're definitely not going to live through the storm, and most certainly will get eaten by coyotes if they stay out too long.
Joshua has 6 rescue cats himself, so he was not able to take in any more cats. Nearly 20 people came to help. The Berkshire Humane Society, along with other groups and people, came to help.
A lot of people reached out and helped, and it was fantastic.
7 of the 10 cats have been rescued and are being cared for at the Berkshire Humane Society. The Humane Society is still looking for 3 cats. They set out traps and food in the area where the cats were discovered. Stacy Carver is the manager of Animal Dreams. They are the community cat side of the Berkshire Humane Society. She is happy some of the cats have a warm place to stay.
Definitely helped me get through the night knowing that 7 were safe and warm, and the last 3, hopefully, will come out for food and we'll be able to get them as well.
The Berkshire Humane Society wants to remind the public there are services out there to help animals. Stacy says if you cannot take care of an animal, never dump them in the road, but instead reach out to a shelter or the local Humane Society. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Jonathan Hunter, News Channel 13, coverage you can trust.